when I was a kid, one of my favorite times of the week was Saturday mornings. I mean, the cartoons, they were okay, but the real reason for getting up in the morning was WWF. Okay, I guess it's called WWE now, but rarely a week went by that my brothers and I didn't spend Saturday mornings with our eyes glued to the screen and then reenacting everything we saw. We'd have no idea who was slated to wrestle, and then all of a sudden we hear the entrance music of one of our favorites, of Jake the Snake or The Undertaker or Ultimate Warrior. You'd hear the music and it's like, yes! And baseball isn't that different. They've got walk-up music. Some players don't retain their songs as long, and some players have more than one, but it's walk-up music. Now, believe it or not, God's got a walk-up song or entrance music, if you will. In Exodus 19, we're told, on the morning of the third day, there was thunder and lightning with a thick cloud over the mountain, and a very loud trumpet blast. Everyone in the camp trembled. The text continues, then Moses led the people out of the camp to meet with God, and they stood at the foot of the mountain. Mount Sinai was covered with smoke because the Lord descended on it in fire. Now, the thunder and lightning in this text serve as the entrance music for God showing up on Sinai. Now let's look at the book of Revelation. In chapter 4, verse 5, God's not really going anywhere. But we're told from the throne came flashes of lightning, rumblings, and peals of thunder. And just like Exodus 19, the lightning, rumbling, and peals of thunder, even the trumpets about to sound, are to identify God's presence. So when you get to Revelation 8:5, and we're told, then the angel took the censer, filled it with fire from the altar, and hurled it on the earth, and there came peals of thunder, rumblings, and flashes of lightning, and an earthquake. The peals of thunder, rumblings, and flashes of lightning, it's not just fireworks. Right? It's a manifestation of God's presence. Now, the text says, there came. Now, where's that there? Earth. Right? God comes to earth. And what does it mean for God to come to earth at this point of the story? This is the final judgment. It's what Wesley calls the Great Assize. It's, as I suggested earlier, this is an answer to the prayer of the martyrs. And what were they praying for but the final judgment? You're probably thinking, well, isn't chapter 8 a little early for the final judgment? And as I said before, we're not to read Revelation as one long, continuous, linear story, but is telling us the same thing from a number of intensifying perspectives. Now, after the seventh trumpet in chapter 11, we read, then God's temple in heaven was opened, and within his temple was seen the ark of his covenant. And there came flashes of lightning, rumblings, peals of thunder, and an earthquake and a severe hailstorm. You got the same indication of God's presence as before, but this time with an added severe hailstorm. How about Revelation 16? You've got the emptying of the seven bowls, after which we're told, then there came flashes of lightning, rumbling, peals of thunder, and a severe earthquake. No earthquake like it has ever occurred since mankind has been on the earth. So tremendous was the earthquake. Now, despite my suggestion that the narrative of Revelation doesn't always progress in a linear fashion, there is an important connection between what we find in chapter 7 and chapter 8. Now, chapter 7 begins with the sealing of believers, the guarantee of our perseverance. As we move forward with trepidation at the reading of judgment, we should do so in confidence that those who are in Christ have been sealed and will be protected. Even as the perpetrators of evil experience the full and final justice of God's judgment, the lightning and peals of thunder should stir in us fear of the Lord. But the Lamb's sacrifice and seal should cause us not to fear his presence. Have a blessed week.